Let's welcome our guest. He's like an eagle, patriotic, bald, and attacks people with his toenails. And his Now You Know tour starts in February. Comedian Jim Norton. He knows overcoming adversity, like being a guest on this show. Fox News contributor Johnny Joey Jones. He's so smart, Harvard's president refuses to plagiarize him. Campus Reform Higher Education Fellow Nicholas Giordano. And she might be blonde, but she won't get conned. Host of the Hoop Chat, Emily Austin. All right, Joey, what do you think? This idea that liberals are now waking up, but then to hear Bill Maher say, oh, if we can only just go back to Obama, doesn't he realize what Obama wrought? That's why we're here.
Does he realize it, or he's still a part of it, right? I don't trust any of them that are turning on Biden right now, because there are a lot of reasons to turn on Biden that have nothing to do with ideology. There are a lot of reasons to turn on Biden right now. He's just not a safe horse to bet on. He's the horse that kind of passes out and loses in turn two. I mean, I can't go back to Barack Obama. I can just hear him in my head right now saying, the war is over, we're going to leave Afghanistan. If you want your legs, you can keep your legs. and you know, none of those things were true. I don't need Obama. We're getting Obama Attack 3 right now. Everyone Joe Biden has employed worked in the Obama administration. They were not very good at it, so they got a promotion in the Biden administration.
There you go. Emily, do you see people waking up? Like I said, we have a lot of people on the left. I mentioned Barry Weiss, kicked out of the New York Times. Now she started her own operation. Do you think they're waking up or not?
I think that there's like a small minority that's getting louder, but the majority, I really hope so, majority of the left seem to actually start to value life. And anyone with the slightest bit of common sense is going to understand the trajectory that the United States is going on. We're going to be screwed if something doesn't change. If we have 4 more years of whatever is going on right now, we're all in big trouble. So I don't think enough people are waking up, but I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that by election time, we don't allow America to keep going down this road, because we are all going to screw ourselves.
Nicholas, can I call you Nick, or how do you do it?
You call me Nick.
We call you Nick. Okay. I've been noticing this Obama worship from people who I think are starting to wake up. Now they call Joe Rogan right-wing. He's not right-wing. He's been a liberal. He's just like Bill Maher, and he's always seen many sides of the issue. But even I want to put up this quote here. This was from his podcast. I notice he says he can't get enough of Obama. But as far as like a representative of the United States, who better than Obama? He's the best of all time, the most educated and eloquent and even-keeled. I mean, what is he talking about? Does he not recognize the policies? Because Biden actually thinks he is Obama 2.0.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, people look at President Biden and they'll make attacks. Oh, his policies are horrible. But it's the policies. No matter who you replace him with, those same policies stay in effect. And the idea of wokeism has destroyed higher education and our society. It's extraordinarily destructive. I mean, at Campus Reform, we talked about these equitable grading systems. What better way to achieve success than to drop all standards, have a plagiarizer become the president of Harvard University, and then say that's acceptable and justify it. So we see the failures of wokeism. People are starting to wake up, but it took protests calling for a genocide against Jews for people to say, maybe the movement's gone a little too far. It should have been when they were talking about gender ideology to kindergartners and the anti-Americanism that's been pumped in the university system. Every bad idea has filtered out through the colleges, and we're seeing it in real time.
Actually, did you hear about this, that Obama is actually behind the scenes? He's pulling for Claudine Gay from Harvard. He wants her to keep the job. He's trying to convince the board to keep her. If that is true, I don't know if it is, but why would he be doing that, do you think, that Obama, why does he want to hold on to that when she's obviously, her credibility has been severely damaged?
It has, but our entire profession has been damaged. If I fail a student for plagiarizing now, they could turn around and be like, well, the Harvard president plagiarized and nothing happened to her. Why am I failing? And this is the embarrassment to our profession as people that teach and are supposed to educate, that it's not about education anymore. It's about virtue signaling. It's about emotions, and it's about an agenda to push. And that's the thing. Former President Obama wants Claudine Gay there to push an agenda.
Jim, I never know where you're going to come from. I was mentioning guys like that. Like Rogan doesn't see party. You know, he takes on each issue. Chappelle's the same way. You're probably the same way. What would you say to the American people coming up for 2024?
I don't think Bill Maher has changed. I don't think any of these guys have changed. They're just reacting to a younger generation, which is more radical. The same as traditional conservatives don't embrace all the far-right ideology. Traditional liberals don't embrace all of every insane thing that woke ideology says. This is not new. I don't even think Obama started it. He definitely pushed it. But, I mean, you look back to when Clinton was president, and he said, yeah, I believe in political correctness. They started the language policing 30 years ago. And in 1988, nobody came to Dice's rescue when he got in trouble for saying dirty words. The comedians have been telling you this for over 30 years. And now that it's happening more and more, every group that's being affected is going, oh my God, how could they allow this in girls' sports? How could they allow this? But nobody cared when it was 30 years ago and guys were getting in trouble for jokes. So this started a long time ago. It hasn't changed. It has just gotten progressively worse. But I don't even fault Obama for it. I mean, this was long before him that this started.
Yeah, I guess I could say that, you know, I said most of the troubles in this country, Joey, have to do with Obama policies, but that's just in the modern world. I don't think he's a particularly more evil than any other politician. He's just been more effective. He came out of that Chicago School of Politics, and, you know, he was a community organizer. People used to make fun of that. I'll never forget when Sarah Palin made fun of him saying, oh, I have a real job. He was a community organizer. Community organizer is a real job, and it has more of effect on this country than most people realize.
If you live where I live, a community organizer is a hell of a job. I mean, you got to go 10 miles to find somebody to organize. I've always respected that. But listen, you want to see where this is in effect in today's world? Look at Gavin Newsom. I mean, California's an absolute mess. There's nothing about him I particularly like. But if I host Fox and Friends, Rachel's going to say, oh, you know, he comes across charismatic. That's what people think.
Yeah.
They think, and who cares, you know, that he's ruined the best piece of land we've ever had, California. Doesn't matter. He's somehow charismatic. That was Barack Obama.
And that is what I think Gavin Newsom wants to do, is ride that charisma into the White House the way that Obama did it. Okay, before we go, a quick reminder. You can come see my live solo show, Spontaneous Combustion. Oh, look at that picture. I'll be in Albany, Syracuse, Stamford, Connecticut, Hartford, Boston, and Providence. Go to TomShillue.com for tickets and info. And up next, yeah, go ahead, give me a little love there. I like it. Up next, this year, dodging insults and lies, top KGP's replies.